Why America is Great: The Silicon Valley Tech Ecosystem. When examining what makes America great, few places exemplify the nation's innovative spirit more powerfully than Silicon Valley. This roughly 77-square-mile region south of San Francisco has become synonymous with technological innovation, entrepreneurial ambition, and economic dynamism. In 2024, Bay Area startups attracted $90 billion in venture capital, accounting for 57% of the $178 billion invested in U.S. startups that year. This concentration of capital, talent, and innovation represents something uniquely American: the ability to transform audacious ideas into world-changing companies. To understand why Silicon Valley matters to America's greatness, we must examine not just its impressive statistics, but the ecosystem that makes such achievements possible. This script explores the interconnected elements that have made Silicon Valley the world's premier innovation hub, and what this means for American leadership in technology and beyond. The scale of Silicon Valley's economic impact. The numbers surrounding Silicon Valley are staggering. The region is home to over 6,600 tech companies and generates an astounding $275 billion in tech GDP annually. To put this in perspective, if Silicon Valley were a country, its economy would rank among the world's largest. Its economy would rank among the world's largest. The region's market capitalization reached unprecedented heights in 2024. Despite employment losses in the tech sector, Silicon Valley and San Francisco's aggregate market cap hit an all-time high of $14.3 trillion in February 2024. This remarkable valuation, occurring even during a period of adjustment and layoffs, demonstrates the enduring value creation capacity of the region's companies. Silicon Valley's concentration of unicorns private companies valued at over $1 billion is particularly noteworthy. The region hosts 31% of the nation's unicorns, with San Francisco adding another 26%. Together, the region's 276 unicorns are worth nearly $1 trillion. This concentration of high-value private companies represents not just current wealth, but future potential. As these companies continue to grow and eventually enter public markets, the employment landscape, while evolving, remains robust. As of mid-2024, Silicon Valley employed approximately 1.717 million people. The region maintains the highest concentration of high-tech workers of any metropolitan area, with 285.9 out of every 1,000 private sector workers employed in technology. Furthermore, Silicon Valley boasts the highest average high-tech salary in the United States at $144,800, reflecting both the value these workers create and the intense competition for talent. The venture capital engine. At the heart of Silicon Valley's success lies its venture capital ecosystem, unmatched anywhere in the world. The concentration of capital available for startup investment creates a self-reinforcing cycle of innovation and growth. The venture capital landscape in 2024 showed remarkable strength despite broader economic uncertainties. Bay Area startups didn't just lead in total dollars raised, they dominated the entire venture ecosystem. Startups located in the Bay Area vacuumed up $90 billion of VC investment in 2024, which was 57% of the $178 billion of U.S. venture funding spent last year. This means that more than half of all venture capital deployed in the United States flowed into this one geographic region. The concentration of investment has actually intensified over recent years. The venture capital landscape in 2024 indicated a strategic focus on later stages, mega funds, and artificial intelligence, with Silicon Valley as the primary beneficiary. In the fourth quarter of 2024 alone, Silicon Valley unicorns raised $26.66 billion across 31 funding rounds, demonstrating continued investor confidence in the region's most valuable private companies. What makes Silicon Valley's venture capital ecosystem particularly powerful is not just the quantity of money available, but the quality of the investors and their approach. Sand Hill Road in Menlo Park has become legendary as the financial heartbeat of the tech industry, hosting major firms like Sequoia Capital, Kleiner Perkins, and Andreessen Horowitz. These firms bring far more than capital to their investments. They provide strategic guidance, operational expertise, networks of contacts, and credibility that helps startups scale rapidly. In 2024, the top 30 venture capital firms dominated the market, securing 75% of all U.S. venture capital fundraising. This concentration reflects a shift toward megafunds that offer comprehensive support services to startups, including marketing, recruitment, and operational assistance. Andreessen Horowitz alone raised more than 11% of all VC funds in 2024, illustrating the scale at which leading firms now operate. The availability of capital at all stages of company development creates unique opportunities for entrepreneurs. From seed funding to late-stage growth capital, Silicon Valley offers financial support throughout a company's lifecycle. This comprehensive funding ecosystem means that promising companies rarely need to look elsewhere for capital, keeping talent and innovation concentrated in the region. The artificial intelligence boom. If there's a single technology defining Silicon Valley's current era, it's artificial intelligence. The region has emerged as the undisputed global headquarters for AI development, attracting unprecedented investment and talent. The AI investment surge in 2024 was extraordinary. Silicon Valley witnessed significant AI investments, with major funding rounds demonstrating investor conviction in the technology's potential. AI-powered search engine Perplexity raised $500 million in a December 2024 Series D round. OpenAI, headquartered in San Francisco, raised $6.6 billion, while Databricks secured $10 billion. Both in late 2024. These massive capital raises reflect both the enormous potential of AI technology and the intense competition to lead in this space. The focus on AI extends far beyond a few flagship companies. Investments in generative artificial intelligence companies saw a remarkable 220% increase in 2024 compared to the previous year. This explosion of investment reflects AI's transformation from an emerging technology to a foundational platform that will reshape virtually every industry. AI-native fintech companies exemplify the practical applications of this technology. In 2024, AI-native fintechs delivered 4.0 times value per dollar invested, significantly outperforming legacy firms integrating AI, which saw 2.7 times returns. This performance gap demonstrates the advantage of building products and services with AI as a core architectural element rather than a bolted-on feature. The economic impact of AI investment ripples throughout the region. Bay Area startups raised 60% of all global AI funding in 2024, with most flowing to San Francisco companies. This concentration has visible effects on the local economy and real estate market. The average rent in Hayes Valley, particularly popular with AI founders, jumped more than 30% from $2,873 in 2024 to $3,830, reflecting the influx of well-funded entrepreneurs. The talent war in AI has reached extraordinary proportions. Recruiting started to resemble professional sports, with AI researchers jumping between companies, sometimes lured by compensation packages worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This intense competition for talent, while expensive, accelerates innovation by ensuring that top researchers can pursue their most ambitious ideas with substantial resources. The AI boom has also attracted defense and national security investment. In December 2024, tech companies including Palantir, Anduril, SpaceX, and OpenAI formed alliances to secure U.S. defense contracts, aiming to modernize the defense industry with advanced technologies. This collaboration seeks to challenge traditional defense contractors by leveraging Silicon Valley's innovative capabilities, representing a new chapter in the relationship between technology and national security. The University Connection. Silicon Valley's success cannot be understood without examining the critical role played by its world-class universities. Stanford University and the University of California, Berkeley serve as the intellectual and talent foundations upon which the entire ecosystem is built. Stanford University's connection to Silicon Valley is particularly deep and historic. Frederick Terman, often called the father of Silicon Valley, played an outsized role as Stanford's Dean of Engineering and later Provost in shaping the region's development. In 1954, he initiated the Stanford Honors COP program, which allowed companies in Silicon Valley to send their engineers to Stanford graduate engineering programs. He also helped shape the Stanford Industrial Park, which provided space for firms to co-locate. By 1965, the park hosted 42 tenant companies, employing about 12,000 people. The impact of Stanford on Silicon Valley continues to this day. 1 in 20 Google employees is a Stanford graduate. Since the 1930s, Stanford alumni have created approximately 39,900 companies that generate $2.7 trillion in annual revenue and have created 5.4 million jobs. These numbers illustrate how a single university can serve as an engine for regional and national economic growth. UC Berkeley plays an equally important role in the ecosystem. More UC Berkeley graduates are hired into the tech industry in Silicon Valley than alumni from any other American university. Berkeley's strength in computer science, engineering, and the sciences provides a steady stream of technically skilled graduates ready to contribute to cutting-edge companies. The relationship between these universities and industry goes far beyond simply producing graduates. Universities serve as research partners, with faculty and students conducting fundamental research that later becomes the basis for commercial products and companies. Technology transfer offices at these universities have intensified their activities, facilitating the movement of discoveries from laboratory to marketplace. The universities also foster entrepreneurship directly. Entrepreneurship education programs have expanded significantly, teaching students not just technical skills, but business acumen, leadership, and the practical aspects of starting companies. This educational approach produces graduates who see entrepreneurship as a viable and desirable career path. The physical proximity of universities to companies enables fluid exchange of knowledge and talent. Students intern at nearby companies. Faculty members consult or serve on advisory boards. And successful entrepreneurs return to teach or mentor the next generation. This creates a virtuous cycle where theory and practice continuously inform each other. Federal research funding flowing to these universities has historically played a crucial role in supporting breakthrough discoveries. However, recent federal research funding cuts have delivered economic blows, resulting in a $21.5 million loss in support between March and September 2025. This disruption threatens scientific progress and weakens the region's innovation ecosystem, highlighting the ongoing importance of federal support for basic research. The talent pool and culture. Silicon Valley's greatest asset is its people. The region has assembled an unparalleled concentration of technical talent, entrepreneurs and business leaders who collectively drive innovation forward. The Bay Area remains home to the highest concentration of skilled tech professionals in the country. Approximately 49% of all U.S. big tech engineers and 27% of startup engineers are based in the region. This density of technical expertise creates an environment where complex problems can be solved quickly through collaboration and where talent can easily move between companies, spreading knowledge and best practices. Since summer 2024, Silicon Valley's top tech companies have added approximately 15,000 jobs in the Bay Area, with the most significant gains coming from NVIDIA, Meta, and Apple. This growth, occurring during a period when many companies were implementing layoffs, demonstrates that leading firms continue to see value in concentrating talent in Silicon Valley despite the availability of remote work. The educational attainment in Silicon Valley is exceptional. Nearly 25% of residents hold graduate or professional degrees. far surpassing national averages. This concentration of highly educated individuals creates a culture where intellectual discourse, technical problem-solving, and ambitious thinking are the norm rather than the exception. What truly distinguishes Silicon Valley is its entrepreneurial culture, an intangible but powerful force that encourages risk-taking, celebrates failure as a learning opportunity, and maintains an optimistic belief in technology's potential to solve major problems. This culture is reinforced through countless formal and informal networks, from startup accelerators and incubators to coffee shops where entrepreneurs gather. The region's diversity significantly contributes to its innovative capacity. Approximately 38% of Silicon Valley residents are foreign-born, and more than half of startups have an immigrant founder. According to a 2024 report, 23% of foreign-born tech professionals in the region hold Indian nationality, and nearly one-third of all tech workers are of Indian origin. Industry pioneers like Sergey Brin of Google and Vinod Khosla of Sun Microsystems exemplify the impact of global talent. This diversity of backgrounds, perspectives, and experiences fuels creativity and enables companies to build products for global markets from the start. The willingness to welcome talent from around the world represents a distinctly American strength, the ability to attract and integrate the world's best and brightest, regardless of where they were born. Silicon Valley has increasingly prioritized skills over traditional credentials. Companies like IBM, Google, GM, and Apple have dropped degree requirements for many tech roles, recognizing that talent can develop through non-traditional paths. Programs like Peter Thiel's $100,000 fellowship support this approach by offering mentorship to young entrepreneurs who leave traditional education to pursue their ventures. The ecosystem's self-reinforcing dynamics. What makes Silicon Valley particularly remarkable is how its various elements reinforce each other, creating a flywheel effect that accelerates innovation and growth. The concentration of talent attracts companies, which attracts more talent, which leads to knowledge spillovers that boost everyone's productivity. When talented engineers and entrepreneurs are densely packed into a relatively small geographic area, the probability of chance encounters that lead to new collaborations or ideas increases dramatically. Coffee shops, networking events, and informal gatherings become venues for deal-making and knowledge exchange. The availability of venture capital attracts entrepreneurs from around the world, who then create companies that generate returns for investors, which generates more capital to invest. This cycle has intensified over decades, with Silicon Valley now commanding an ever larger share of global venture investment. European entrepreneurs increasingly turn to Silicon Valley for scaling opportunities backed by high capital, mentorship, and global networks. London-launched startup 11x AI relocated its operations to Silicon Valley to access a larger pool of talent and capital, later raising a $24 million Series A. Success breeds more success through demonstration effects. When founders see peers building valuable companies, receiving funding, and achieving exits, it validates entrepreneurship as a viable career path and provides templates for how to succeed. The visible presence of successful entrepreneurs like Mark Andreessen, Reid Hoffman, and Peter Thiel, who have become venture capitalists funding the next generation, creates powerful role models and mentor networks. The ecosystem has also developed sophisticated supporting infrastructure. Law firms specializing in startup legal work, accounting firms that understand venture-backed companies' recruiters, who can find specialized talent, public relations, agencies that understand tech media. These service providers cluster in Silicon Valley because that's where their clients are, and their presence makes it easier for new companies to get started. California's legal environment contributes to the ecosystem's fluidity. The state's civil code undermines non-compete clauses that effectively tie employees to their companies in other states, allowing California workers to freely apply knowledge gained from previous employers. This legal environment facilitates the flow of talent and ideas between companies, something that has given Silicon Valley an advantage over other American tech hubs. The presence of established tech giants creates multiple benefits for the startup ecosystem. Large companies serve as training grounds where talented individuals learn their craft before starting their own ventures. They also serve as potential acquirers of startups, providing an important exit path that returns capital to entrepreneurs and investors. Additionally, when large companies succeed, their employees accumulate wealth that they can invest in new ventures either as angel investors or by funding their own startups. Economic impact beyond Silicon Valley. While Silicon Valley's direct economic impact is concentrated in the Bay Area, its influence extends far beyond regional boundaries, contributing to American economic leadership globally. Silicon Valley companies have become some of the most valuable in the world. Apple, Google, Meta, and other Silicon Valley-born companies rank among the largest by market capitalization globally. These companies generate hundreds of billions in revenue, pay substantial taxes, employ millions directly and indirectly, and create platforms that enable countless other businesses. The technology developed in Silicon Valley affects virtually every sector of the economy. Cloud computing infrastructure powers businesses worldwide. Mobile applications change how consumers interact with services. Artificial intelligence is being integrated into healthcare, finance, manufacturing, and countless other industries. E-commerce platforms enable small businesses to reach global markets. Each of these innovations, often born in Silicon Valley, creates economic value far beyond the tech sector itself. The companies that emerge from Silicon Valley often grow to become major employers across America and globally. Amazon, which began as an online bookstore, now employs over 1 million people. Google and Meta employ hundreds of thousands. These jobs aren't concentrated solely in Silicon Valley, they're distributed across the country and world, but they originated from the region's entrepreneurial ecosystem. The wealth generated in Silicon Valley has ripple effects throughout the economy. Secondary sales, wherein employees and investors sell shares in private companies, began surging in 2025. OpenAI conducted a $6.6 billion secondary sale for current and former employees, while SpaceX, Databricks, ByteDance, and other companies offered similar opportunities for staff to cash out. This wealth creation enables consumption, investment in other businesses, philanthropy, and various forms of economic activity. Silicon Valley's approach to innovation has become a model studied and emulated worldwide. Entrepreneurship programs, startup accelerators, and innovation districts in cities around the world explicitly aim to recreate elements of Silicon Valley's success. While no region has fully replicated the Valley's unique combination of factors, the spread of its methods and mindset contributes to innovation globally. Challenges and adaptations. Despite its remarkable success, Silicon Valley faces significant challenges that test the resilience of its ecosystem and raise questions about its future trajectory. The cost of living represents perhaps the most pressing challenge. Silicon Valley has a severe housing shortage driven by market imbalance between jobs created and housing units built. From 2010 to 2015, the region created 400,000 jobs but built only 60,000 housing units. This shortage has driven home prices and rents extremely high, far out of range for many workers. The region has the highest percentage of homes valued at $1 million or more in the United States. These high costs have real consequences for the ecosystem. In 2024, an estimated 18,840 Silicon Valley residents exited the region for other areas, down from 53,570 in 2022, but still representing significant outmigration. Housing and homelessness are what residents worry about most according to the latest surveys. Some analysts believe these departures undermine job markets by driving away the labor force needed to sustain growth. Office vacancy rates have risen to nearly 19% by the end of 2023, reflecting both transitioning economy and new patterns of remote work. The rise of remote work and virtual meetings has made it more viable for talent to work from lower-cost locations while maintaining connections to Silicon Valley companies. This dispersion could dilute some of the ecosystem's advantages over time. The job market has become more challenging, particularly for new graduates. Hiring of new college graduates by the 15 largest tech companies has fallen 55% since 2019. The gap between overall unemployment and unemployment for recent college graduates reached an all-time high. This represents a shift from Silicon Valley's historic image as a land of opportunity where talented young people could easily find their first job in tech. Inequality has grown significantly. White workers make up 31% of the workforce, but account for 59% of leadership roles at Silicon Valley's largest tech companies. Hispanic or Latino workers represent a disproportionately small share at 17%. This demographic imbalance raises questions about whether Silicon Valley truly offers equal opportunity to all Americans. Competition from other tech hubs has intensified. Austin has attracted major firms like Tesla and Oracle with lower costs and a business-friendly environment. Miami is rapidly developing as a tech center thanks to tax incentives and startup-friendly climate. While Silicon Valley remains dominant, these emerging ecosystems offer alternatives that may siphon off some talent and investment. Despite these challenges, Silicon Valley has demonstrated remarkable resilience and adaptability. After predictions during the pandemic that the region was in decline, 2025 has responded with what observers call a never mind. Recent data shows the mood improving, with almost half of residents saying the Bay Area is on the right track. Up from 29% in 2023, fewer residents are planning to leave. And most say quality of life has improved, though affordability issues remain. The region continues to attract global talent despite high costs. The sheer density of opportunities, the presence of leading companies and investors, and the unmatched network effects keep Silicon Valley compelling for ambitious entrepreneurs and technologists. Those who can overcome the high-cost barrier find themselves in an environment unlike anywhere else in the world. Policy environment and future outlook. The political and policy environment significantly shapes Silicon Valley's trajectory, with recent changes creating both opportunities and uncertainties. The return of Donald Trump to the presidency has reshaped Silicon Valley's regulatory environment. His pro-deregulation stance is welcomed by many entrepreneurs who see it as a way to accelerate innovation with fewer constraints. The expected reduction in regulatory red tape could fuel a surge in US-based startups, particularly in sectors like AI, where America aims to maintain global leadership. However, concerns are mounting around AI regulation specifically. A new executive order mandating ideologically unbiased AI has sparked heated debates about ethics and corporate responsibility. The relationship between tech leaders and political power has become more visible and controversial, with figures like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and Jeff Bezos appearing at high-profile political events. Immigration policy represents a critical concern for Silicon Valley's future. Silicon Valley has significant exposure to H-1B visa policy, which allows companies to hire foreign workers in specialty occupations. For the region's largest tech employers, potential restrictions could come with steep costs and estimated $766 million in fees alone, according to projections. The broader economic impact could include losses of 1,060 jobs and falling local, state, and federal tax revenues. These projections spotlight the economic stakes of H-1B policy and the critical role that global talent plays in sustaining Silicon Valley's innovation-driven economy. Federal research funding, historically crucial for supporting the basic research that later becomes commercial technology, faces uncertainty. Recent cuts have already impacted universities and research institutions in the region, potentially undermining future innovation pipelines. Looking ahead, several trends seem likely to shape Silicon Valley's evolution. Artificial intelligence will remain the dominant investment theme, with substantial capital continuing to flow into AI companies and infrastructure. The technology's potential to transform virtually every industry ensures ongoing interest from entrepreneurs and investors alike. The IPO market appears to be reopening after several years of relative dormancy, potentially creating a positive chain reaction as successful exits return capital to investors and employees. This could increase appetite for venture investments, cross all stages, and validate the ecosystem's continued ability to create valuable companies. Competition from other ecosystems will likely intensify, while Silicon Valley maintains clear advantages. Other regions are improving their offerings and may succeed in specific domains or for specific types of companies. A more decentralized global innovation network is emerging, with significant clusters developing in Austin, Miami, London, Berlin, Singapore, and Tel Aviv, among others. The relationship between Silicon Valley and sectors beyond pure technology continues to deepen. Healthcare, agriculture, education, government services, and traditional manufacturing are all being transformed by technology, creating opportunities for startups that bridge these domains. Defense technology has emerged as a particularly dynamic sector, with geopolitical tensions creating tailwinds for companies working at the intersection of technology and national security.